You're listening to the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. This is episode 41. Hey folks, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Well, I'm dodging bullets. Literally. I will talk about that a little bit later on this episode of the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. Sorry about the lateness on this. My apologies. It's just, busy weekend. Not really, but it was. It was busy doing nothing, if you know what I mean. And then yesterday, I worked like 8 hours without taking a break, and I just didn't feel like doing it. And so we went over to Bait and Bobby's, had a little dinner, had some beer from Fort Mill, South Carolina. Bait is like me, wants to try each and every beer that we possibly can. Also, he had some really good bourbon, so we tried that out. But, sorry about that. Hopefully, it'll be on the network. I don't think it'll be tonight being Tuesday, but Wednesday. You're probably listening to it right now. And, I like to let people know on social media. But the thing is, what was I going to say? Yes, Patreon people. Here's the perk. Guess what? They got it on Tuesday. Yeah, so there's a perk on listening on Patreon. Even if you're not a Patreon supporter, you can still use the app and hear the podcast as soon as I put it up. And when I put it up on Patreon, it's fresh. Fresh as Mom's homemade chocolate pie. I don't care for apple pie. That was the first thing that came to mind, but I don't even eat apple pie. But anyway, again, my apologies. And, lately it's been doing doubles, in my line of work. And that eats up a lot a day. I'm part-time. I kind of like doing like one trip to Raleigh and back. But yesterday I did one from Winston to Raleigh to Burlington to Raleigh to Winston. And I got there right after they closed. So, I was just not in the mood. But, that's the way it goes. I've been out of work for like 3 months. And I understand that there's 2 full-timers now that have kind of been, quote-unquote, demoted. Politics, I believe, are at the heart of this matter. But they've been demoted, and now they're drivers. One guy, he doesn't care. He's 1 year away from retirement. He doesn't care. He likes it. Gets away from all the angry customers, because customers get angry where I work. Trust me. Let me just turn this damn phone off. Damn it. There. Turn that ringer off. But, I don't mind doing the doubles. It's just, if I start early enough, it's fine. I don't like to be rolling through Winston-Salem and Greensboro during any time between 4:30 to 6. It's really no fun. No fun. But today on my run, I've been having a craving lately. And I live in Clemmons, North Carolina, the Davidson County side of Clemmons. There's no Hardee's around. I think the closest Hardee's is maybe in Winston-Salem near the hospital. I think that's the closest one. And I love me a damn thick burger. When they put out those thick burgers back in, the early 2000s, and they said Hardee's used to be your last place you'd think of getting a burger. Well, now it's your first. Well, let me tell you, it's still one of my first places I think about when getting a burger at Hardee's. Yeah, and the fries are good. I'm not knocking the fries. And the chicken tenders, good and cheap for what they are. Usually you find them a whole meal on sale. I think with 3 or 4 tenders, $5. That's not bad. But I went there today, hit the one in Hillsboro, between I-40 and I-85, and I wanted to get there before the really lunch hour started. And as I'm cruising by, there's another fast food place, the McDonald's there. That place was nuts. There was lines around the building. looked like the parking lot couldn't handle any more. You know, it was just nuts. But I wasn't in the mood for McDonald's, but it kind of put like a spark of fear into my heart, because I was thinking, gosh, if people see this, then they're going to go to Hardee's. Well, I get to Hardee's, there's nobody there. Yeah, there's one car in the parking lot, in the dining lobby area, and just me hitting the drive-thru. I looked at the menu; they had these combos and stuff, but I didn't see a single thick burger. There was like a superstar, which is kind of like a double. They had chicken sandwich. They had all kinds of different burgers. I didn't even see the sourdough thick burger. I didn't even see the monster thick burger. And that thing is like 1,200 damn calories. And let me tell you, you have one of those, you're done for the day. I mean, literally done for the day. You have one of those burgers, there's no need to eat for another 24 hours. That's all it is to it. And I'm not talking about, the calories. I'm talking about it will fill you up. Especially if you eat the fries with it. But I couldn't find anything, so I just went ahead and just got I think they called it a big cheese. It's just one patty, and I got it with cheese and ketchup and mayo. I've really gotten into that combination of ketchup and mayo. Used to be a time I wouldn't eat mayonnaise. No, never. Hated it. And then my dad said, for a guy that likes ranch so much, you need to revisit mayo. And he was right. Turns out I like mayo now. I guess my taste just changed. I love it. I love mixing it with mustard and using it as a dip for pork skins. Yeah, pork rinds, that sort of thing. Cracklings. I got the cheeseburger, and I didn't want to eat it on the road. I'm distracted enough by just driving. So I just circled the parking lot, found me a nice spot in the back where I'm facing north away from the sun, so I could have a little bit of shade that the van supplied, and just left it running so I could listen to the music on my Spotify, and I sent out a couple of snaps from there. And so I open it up because I have to open up my burgers because somebody, it's some kind of massive conspiracy. Somebody's going to stick some offending pickles on there. Offending tomatoes. Offensive onions. God knows what somebody will put on there because they're out to get me. I know it. I think every fast food place on the East Coast is all tuned in with my picture whenever I pop up, some sort of facial recognition thing. It's like, hey, let's give that bastard something that he can't stand. And it's usually pickles and onions. Tomato, that's not so offensive. I can pull that sucker off and it's no big deal. But onions and pickles just, they leave their residue. You know what I mean? The taste residue. I know you think I'm nuts, but it does. It happens. Taste residue exists. And I don't want it. Sometimes I have to take a napkin and just literally scrape out parts of the bun that pickles and onions have touched. Because, it's disgusting. So anyway, I got it. I opened it up, and sure enough, it had just mayo and ketchup. It was wonderful. But it looked like they were just slapping it on with like a, what do you call those bricklayers? Like a trough or whatever it is they smooth things out. It looks like people just threw a gob of mayo on it. Like they were using what do you call those spackle guns? Or not spackle guns, but you know what I'm talking about. They squeeze stuff out, and it was horrible. There was so much, it was a good thing it comes wrapped in like a little paper thing, because once I got at the bottom and started pulling the burger out, there had to be enough ketchup and mayo for an order of large fries, because it just came out the other side. It was satisfying. It satisfied my craving. The fries were good. And I got the small combo. They didn't even ask me if I wanted to upsize. But I got the small combo, and I saw that they had cherry Coke. I am a big, huge fan of Cherry Coke. It's probably my favorite cola out there. I mean, I'm already a Coke person as it is, but when you got a Cherry Coke, oh yeah, I'm tingly inside. But the Thick Burger, it sort of hit the spot, but I got to check the website now to see if Thick Burgers have been kind of discontinued. Yeah. It's baffling, and I'll be honest with you, I'm troubled.
You want extra episodes of the Wheeler's Dog Podcast? Of course you do. No one in their right mind would pass up an opportunity to get a bonus episode every week. Not every once in a while, but one every week. Just go to patreon.com/WheelersDog and get into the dog share for just $4. $4 every month unlocks all the audio. You can even listen with the Patreon app for tablets and smartphones. Patreon.com/WheelersDog to contribute. It's the best gift that you could ever give yourself, really. Maybe.
All right, so I'm coming back from Raleigh. I took a pickup truck from the location in downtown Winston-Salem that I sometimes take vehicles from, take them to the shop in Raleigh. And so I took a pickup truck, and then I brought back a van to downtown Winston-Salem. And it's real easy, you just get on what they used to call Business 40. It's now the Salem Parkway. And I was going to get off at Cherry Street. Well, as I'm driving over 52, somebody's trying to merge onto. So I had plenty of room. I got over. So it's not a big deal. They'll pass by me. I'd slow down so they could pass by me. Nobody was really behind me. So I just let the guy merge over. And he was not going to pass me. And I didn't. I was running out of room. I didn't have enough room to gun it and then take over to the right and go to my exit. Plus, all of a sudden, there was a deputy sheriff right behind the guy. So I'm like, okay, all right. I'm not gonna do this. So I said, no problem. I'll just go up here to where the BB&T ballpark is now, the Truist Stadium, there on Peters Creek Parkway. I'll just take the Peters Creek Parkway exit, get on 2nd Street, and then it'll take me the back way in. No harm, no foul, no biggie, Just be safe. And that's the thing. That's the key when you're out there driving. Just be safe. Nobody seems to mind if I put any, like an extra mile on it. Nobody says anything. So I'm sure they liked getting the van, which only had 3 miles on it when I got in it. I think 116 when I parked it. So, yeah, you kind of want that in one piece so early in the game. I get off, do my thing, I go in, I park the car, or the van, I should say. And the guy asked me, one of the guys there runs the joint, he was like, hey man, can you drive a stick? I said, yeah, I could drive a stick. I learned to drive on a stick. My parents had a 1971 Torino 500 with a Hurst shifter. Loved that thing, and it was like contoured to your hand, and about as wide as your palm. And it was a pretty badass Hurst shifter. And that's where I learned how to drive a stick, was that car. Hills gave me a big problem. Oh, but I finally found that friction point that they talk about. The longest time when you learn how to drive a stick, it's like fabled. It's a myth. Where is this mythical friction point where I can just get a car to stand in one place on a hill and then just push the gas and let out the clutch a little bit and take off? But yes, it does exist. It does exist, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, the guy there asked me if I could do it, and I said, sure. Well, it was a Subaru, I think, of Outback. And I look at it, and it's, a 6-speed. I've never driven a 6-speed. And it's got the diagram of the gears and everything like most gear shifts have, and it had the R all the way over to the right. I get in, put in the clutch, start it up. It's in first gear, so I knock it out of gear and shake it there in the middle. It's in neutral. So then I go to locate reverse, go all the way over and down, and I start going, but I'm going forward. So I must have had it in 6th gear. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell's going on? So I stopped it, did it again, going forward. I must have get, sixth gear. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's not that difficult. There's a damn diagram right there. Push in the clutch. You should be able to find reverse. I tried and tried to find reverse. Could not find it. It was driving me insane. And I'll be honest with you, it's a little embarrassing. Yeah. I told the guy I could drive. And it had been my first time, going up 2 ramps so he could install a hitch on it. That's what I was doing. So I didn't get to do that. That hurts me deep inside. But anyway, I just parked it out of the way. I was in first gear, never got it in the second. I just parked it out of the way. I said, man, I am really sorry. I don't know what the hell's going on. I said, I can't find reverse. He's like, yeah, it's okay. I got a guy coming in about 40 minutes. He knows how to drive these things. And I said, there must be a trick to it. I'm going to go home and look on YouTube because I've never had difficulty finding reverse. It's like going on your wedding night and, you consummate the marriage. You kind of know what you're doing if you're 50 some years old. So I don't understand why I couldn't get it in reverse. So quite baffling. But anyway, I got into the car. I was leaving. So that means I got to get back on Salem Parkway and go out to where 40 rejoins Business 40 or Salem Parkway on the western side of Winston-Salem. And as I start down the ramp, oh God, traffic is at a standstill. I mean, a standstill. And I just went through there like 10 or 15 minutes ago. And I knew that they were just putting it down to 1 lane. So I was like, this can't be because of 1 lane. This is insane. This is relatively light traffic time for Salem Parkway. This is nuts. So I'm sitting there and I was like, okay, well, it's just down the road. It's not even a quarter mile. Just be patient and listen to Dire Straits, because that's what I was listening to today. Love Over Gold. Not a bad album. I'm finally at the point in my life where I can appreciate Dire Straits. Except Money for not that one. Walk of Life, that's the one that drives me insane. It's so damn happy. All those major chords, can't stand that song. Drives me insane. Traffic's at a standstill. Well, I'm edging over, and I'm edging over to the left lane because they say the right lane's closed. And then when you top over the hill, when you're getting close to BB&T Ballpark, which is now Truist Stadium, there at Peters Creek Parkway, all of a sudden there's all these blue lights and red lights, and it looks like an ambulance. And I'm like, wow, somebody must have went through there and had an accident or something. And then they were telling people to get back over into the left lane. So all that work I did to get over into the left lane, the right lane, they had us going back over to the right lane. And as we get closer, it has become apparent to me that there was a shooting. Yes. So that time that I went through that intersection twice, there was a shooting that took place. So that's another bullet I literally dodged. Because I don't know if you remember back in, March or so, we had a shooting here in Clemens, and I was in the area close by, and all my friends were worried about me when I was taken to the dogs to the vets. But, wasn't involved. But this time, there was a red Charger parked in the middle of the road, and they had all these little cups, little red cups, all around it, were for shell casings. And the news crews, they were all up in the BB&T, Truist Stadium. They were up there getting good shots, and it was kind of crazy. So all the news stations were there, and so I narrowly missed being involved in that one. And so then I got on the horn to Leanne Petty, who works at WTOB, same radio station I do, and we do lots of news there. So I Snapchatted her while I was in the car, and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing on the Snapchat. I'm just, paying attention to the road and talking at the same time, like, she was in the car. And so I tell her about it, and she came back told me what Winston-Salem PD's put out there, not a whole lot, Winston-Salem Journal just says there's a shooting, possible shooting there near Peters Creek. And so she asked me if I was on Salem Parkway or Peters Creek. Salem Parkway. So then finally she sent me another little message saying that Bob Scarborough, Bob in the PM, I get the Golden Shell Case Award for apparently cub reporting that into the radio station there. But yeah, kind of crazy, kind of wacky. But just missed that one. And it looked like there was just the one car there. Very bizarre. So anyway, as details come of that, I'll let you know. You know, if it's worthy of letting you know. Because it may not be.
Three guys sitting around talking about being a dad while drinking a beer. The Beer Dads podcast is available everywhere you find podcasts and at tldpodnetwork.com. We talk about daddy issues, but in a good way.
And right after I get this podcast all put together, edited, produced, all that good stuff, and ship it off to associate producer Tim Beeman to put out on the network and to do his YouTube magic to it, I'm going to do something that I have been looking forward to it. Last week on Amazon, I ordered a ski vest. You know, one of those life-saving ski vests. Because here's the deal, folks. We have an in-ground pool in the backyard. 8 feet deep, I think it gets there at the deep end. And I can't swim. Yeah, sorry. That thick burger is kind of repeating on me. Well, it wasn't a thick burger. It was a big cheeseburger. But anyway, I ordered it last week. Got it for like $38, something like that. And I can't swim. And there's been several times where I've come close to falling into the pool. Even once in the deep end. That would not be good because lots of times I'm working on the pool when nobody knows I'm working on the pool. You know, I'm out there vacuuming or doing something to the pool that needs to be done. And nobody would hear me scream. Especially if I'm underwater. But anyway, I can't swim. I know that's kind of odd. I think everybody here but me and the mill can't swim. I get out in the pool all the time. You know, I kind of like stay in the shallow end and just kind of float, drink beer, wear a hat, that sort of thing. But my parents got us swim lessons back when we were kids. And we did it at the Y in Greensboro. I can't remember which one it was. There was a guy that was a high schooler. He took to it like fish or a fish. Me, I kept having problems. You know, I just, every time I'd go to do something, I would have like this massive headache from like the crown of my head all the way down between my shoulder blades. It was just, I don't know if it was tension. I don't know what it was. I somehow think that it was some sort of fear, overwhelming fear. And I'm not afraid of water. I walk around the pool all the time. I don't freak out when I go over bodies of water on bridges. You know, I don't get under the water. And, you know, I talked about my Scorpio traits not too long ago. I am Scorpio, and that's a water sign. We're supposed to really like water. But, you know, I don't like fishing, anything like that. So, I don't know. I could not learn to swim. I could not get over whatever that headache that was happening. And even my mom and dad were telling me, oh, yeah, it's all in your head. You're just crazy. You're crazy. I want to think that when I was an infant, I think maybe my mother thought that I was too much. Maybe she wasn't ready for motherhood. And I think when she was bathing me once, she actually held me under the water. I think maybe that's where this weird fear of the water has come from. I don't know. She denies it. I don't know if I can trust her. She lied to me about Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. Can't trust that woman. She lies. So, who knows? Maybe she did try to kill me as an infant. That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, I got this ski vest. And, you know, the cool thing is, if it can hold up my heft in the water, you know, I realize, and Sam, you know, my oldest stepson, he's a lifeguard. He was like, if you just don't panic, then you'll float. That's easy for you to say. You know how to swim. And he's just kind of having fun at my expense. And I realize, I'm a big fat guy. I should be buoyant as Lifebuoy soap. How's that for a reference? Buoyant as ivory. I should just float right up to the top. Like a baby Ruth. That's what I should do. But I don't. And then anytime I slip, even in the shallow end, I'm in a near panic. Because I can't breathe water. I learned this a long time ago. But anyway, the first time I ever wore a ski vest, it was with a church youth group outing. And it was at Jordan Lake, which is over there right around the Durham area. And so a family member had a house on Jordan Lake. And I mean a nice lake house, 2-story kind of deal with a 2-story boat kind of garage, whatever you call those things. And then you could get on top of it. So I didn't swim, so I wasn't getting out in the water. I got out in the boat a couple of times, but then finally somebody says, "Hey, do you not know how to swim?" I said, "No, I don't know how to swim." He's like, "I got something for you." He put a ski vest on me. And I said, this will help me float. He's like, "Yeah." So we get up on the top and he says, just run off and jump into the lake. And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, just do it. I'm right here. If you've got any trouble, which you're not going to have, just hold your breath and you'll pop back right up like an apple." And so I was like, okay. So I ran, held my nose and jump into the water. And sure enough, I sprung back up and I was like, holy hell, this is awesome. This is nuts. So I spent a whole lot of time floating in God knows how deep water with that ski vest on. It was great. I even got back in the boat and skied. I'd never skied before in my life. Oh, thunder. Looks like I'm going to delay getting into the pool a little while. I'm just like, this is so cool. And so I'm skiing, and, this was like my first time. I was able to get up on my feet, which, really impressed the boat owner. And so I'm up on my feet, and then he had to take a turn, and I don't know all the signals and stuff, and nobody really gave me a whole lot of time to learn it because there wasn't really anybody out there. But anyway, we crossed over somebody else's wake, and next thing I know, I am like cartwheeling for like 20, 25 feet. I'm just whipped out and just cartwheeling. And next thing I know, I'm just bobbing up and down. And I put my hands up, like, hey, I'm over here. So I'm looking forward to getting in the pool and seeing if I can bob around like an apple, because I'm getting out into the bottom, or not the bottom, but the shallow end. I either stand up or I kind of crouch down. I'm looking forward to just floating around, fully extended in the deep end. Yeah. I don't know why we waited 4 years for me to get this. So I'm looking forward to it. Plus, I'm going to wear it anytime I'm around the deep end kind of doing some work, because there is the risk that I could fall in, and that's not really a good thing, especially when no one knows that I'm out there. Because, I don't want, the mill looking out there from the kitchen going, where's that in the pool? Oh my God, that's Eugene. She'd have a damn heart attack. Or Chigged, fishing my body out of that thing. That wouldn't be cool. Hell, she wouldn't be able to get me out. I'm looking forward to that. Again, thanks to associate producer Tim Beeman. I do appreciate his help with all this. And again, Patreon. Use the Patreon app, because even though if it gets behind, as soon as I record these and get them produced, they're going to be on the Patreon app. So even if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, things like that, if you really want it, when it's piping hot fresh, Patreon app. Even if you don't pay for the extra bonus episodes that I They do. I do every week. And it's just like this. I will tell things on there that I don't tell the general public on those Patreon only episodes. Yeah, so there's some dirt there. Like, for instance, the 5 most embarrassing things I've ever done in my life. It's waiting for you. $4. Unlock all of them. All of them. Trust me. You'll be glad you did. I'm out, folks. I don't know if I can trust her. She lied to me about Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. Can't trust that woman. She lies.